This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We're continuing in the Orchos Chaim of the Rosh. Today we're up to Ois Lamed Gimel. Chaver Toiv Heye Liyirei Hashem. You should be a good friend for those who fear God. Don't just be a friend of those who fear Hashem. You should be a good friend to them. Hischaber bechavrasam. Attach yourself to their friendship. So it's important to have a good friend, and the way to choose a good friend is those who are God-fearing. Rabbeinu Yoina in Pirkei Avos, Parak Aleph, Mishnah Vav, he tells us there are 3 reasons to have a good friend. Number 1, for Torah, because as much as you learn from your Rabbeim, mechavera yoser meraboisai. In a certain dimension, one learns more from a friend even than from a Rabbi. Number 2, for mitzvahs. Even if your friend is not more righteous than you, even if your friend does the wrong thing, nevertheless, when he's together with you, he will often encourage you to do the right thing, because just because he sins, but ein adam choite v'lo lo, he doesn't want someone else to sin. So having a friend is, so to speak, it's a safety net. There's a story I like to say over. Rabbi Avigdor Miller was once together with somebody, and he had to say Berachas Hamazon, and after Berachas Hamazon, Rav Miller thanked the person. He said, "I thank you for Berachas Hamazon." You guys, what are you talking about? You're the one who said Berachas Hamazon. So Rav Miller said, "Yeah, but I benched better because you were watching." So Rav Miller had the gadlus to acknowledge that he does things better because he's around people. Everybody does things better because they're around people. It takes Rav Miller to admit to it. The third reason Rabbeinu Yoina says is to take advice. That everybody needs to ask advice. Uteshua b'roi v'yoyet. Salvation comes from an abundance of advice. And here Rabbeinu Yoina is saying one should be a good chaver to those who fear Hashem. You should attach yourself to their friendship. Umechevras poyele oven harchek. Distance yourself from evildoers. Ve'ehoiv hamoichichem. And love those who give rebuke. Now, distance yourself from those who do wrong. The Chafetz Chaim in his Lavin, he talks about being careful not to be makabel lashon hara with other people, because if you're makabel lashon hara with other people, you're causing the speaker to speak, and you're over l'fnei iver lo sitein mechshol. And the Chafetz Chaim says, well, that's if you're the first listener, but if you're the second and third, the guy would have had an audience without you. Maybe the listener is not over l'fnei iver lo sitein mechshol. And then the Chafetz Chaim says, but even if not, nevertheless, and even if you're not going to believe the lashon hara, you should be careful not to sit with them. Because upstairs, when they record this event, anyone who's sitting there is recorded as an accomplice. In other words, you don't want to be caught on Capitol Hill when there's an uprising. You don't want to be caught at a hafgana when the police come, because when they come, they don't really care. You did something wrong, you didn't do something wrong. If you're there, you're part of it. You're an accomplice. And the Chafetz Chaim quotes that Tzava, Rabbi Elazar Hagadol, who commanded his children, he said, Beni, my sons, al teishev b'chavuros ha'omrim genai mechavreim. Do not sit among groups that speak disparagingly about their friends. Ki kishadvarim oilam lamala, because when the matters go up, b'sefer nechtavim, it's written in a book. V'chol ha'omdim sham, anyone standing there, nechtavim b'shem chavuras rasha, is written in the chabura of as an evildoer. So therefore, you don't want to be an accomplice, even if you're not really actively participating in the Avera. You don't even want to be present. So keep your distance from those who do wrong. Maybe we could say, even if you're not going to do anything wrong. I just want to be there. No, don't even be there. Don't even be in the vicinity. Otherwise, you're considered an accomplice. On the flip side, it has to be midah toiva meruba. In other words, if you see a group of people doing a mitzvah, could be, even if you can't participate, it's worthwhile just to be in that vicinity. You want to be inscribed to be one of the people who took part in it. That's why I think I want to speak out a very important Hanhaga Tova. I think it's very worthwhile to consider this. Very often, you get people get collections, charity or other things people are collecting, and the truth is, it is impossible to give for everything because there's so many things that people are collecting for. Merubim tzarchei amenu. But I think it's a good practice, but be part of it. Even if you just give $1. You want to be part of those who did the mitzvah. The same way you don't want to be recorded as someone who was in the vicinity of those who did Avera. You just want to join with them. Give them a dime, give them a quarter. Obviously you can't give $1,000 to every nitzrach. If you can, great. But even if it's not possible, it is possible to give a davar muat. And by giving a davar muat, what you're doing is you're being part of the mitzvah. When it's going to be recorded, those who were part of the mitzvah, you're there. Doesn't mean you're the main nadvan, but you had a yad in it. This was something you wanted to participate in. This is something you want to be part of. And I want to just mention one last Hanhaga Toiva, or perhaps Hanhaga Ra. And this is a Hanhaga that will determine to a significant extent what a person's Olam Haba will be like. And that is, who do you sit next to in shul? Who is your neighbor in shul? Unfortunately, many people, they like to sit next to their friends because it makes them feel more comfortable. What exactly do you need to feel comfortable about in shul? What interaction are you having with your neighbor in shul that you want to sit next to a friend? If the guy who you're sitting next to is somebody that you could have a good conversation with, then this friendship and this association will lead a person to a very bad place, la'achar mea v'esrim shana. Because the Beis HaMedrash is the place that we declare our emunah in Hashem. And the Zohar HaKadosh says someone who speaks in the Beis HaKnesses, les le mehem nusa, they don't have emunah. They demonstrate that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not found there. So the most important neighbor to make sure that we have in this world is the neighbor that we sit next to in the Beis HaKnesses and the Beis HaMedrash. That's what the Rosh says. Make sure you sit next to a Yarei Hashem. And if you do sit next to a Yarei Hashem, and you sit next to somebody who comes early and who doesn't talk, so then very likely that association will bring you to very great places. However, if a person chooses their shulmate based on other factors, it could be a very, very dangerous association. So of all friends in this world, one has to be extremely careful to make sure that in the Beis Hashem, they sit next to the right person. Okay, we're going to pick this up, Bez Hashem, next week, Monday. We may have to adjust the timing because of Mincha. And Bez Hashem, we'll try to do so. Tonight at 8:30, we have an unbelievable topic. The topic is, and behold. Yup, that's the topic. The topic you've always been waiting for. Your whole life you wanted to know, when will there be a shir on the words, and behold? Wait no longer. That shir is tonight. It's Mamish Oyam Benoira. And behold, the shir will be at 8:30. Okay, everyone? Have a great night. Kol Tov. Be well.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.